Hey guys, Duality, William Bryce here with the second installment in my Retro Reviews video series. So if you watched my first one, you know what this series is going to be about. It's going to be about reviewing those championship replica belts that are a little bit older. Really those ones that have been worn down. One, because I can't afford to buy new belts all the time. And two, because if you're spending the money on these belts, you might want to know how they're going to hold up over time. So as you can see, I have the classic big gold belt WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, much like my last video, this one is actually one that I bought on eBay, but instead of buying this one for myself, this was actually one that I bought for my best friend, Tim. Now, I did buy it on eBay. It did come with the DDP nameplate, and it did not come with any other nameplate. That being said, DDP is pretty cool, so I'm pretty cool with it. So with this one, we really see a lot of the same characteristics that we saw with the WWE Undisputed Championship. It's definitely pretty worn over time, and I will admit, this one is definitely more worn. Now, it's so hard to pinpoint the whys and the whens because this belt was bought online. Now, much like my other belt, this one is probably roughly 10 years old, maybe even been in our possession for roughly 10 years. So it's probably closer to 15, and it could even be 20 years old because this got introduced onto the WWE main roster right around 2002. So with this, once again, we're looking at the polyurethane straps. Really flexible, especially over time. Not quite as flexible as a real leather belt, but definitely way better than a faux leather belt. With this, you'll see as I turn to my side, it still comes right over my shoulder just like you would expect. And the only part of it that really doesn't is because the side plates on the World Heavyweight Championship are just so long. Now this belt, something I thought was really unique, and I'd love your guys' input, is that this belt has a pretty significant curve on it. And I've seen them both with and without the curve. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there was a point in time where you could actually order it with or without the curve. Now, if I'm wrong, please call me out on it. Now, as usual, with the next part of the video, we're going to do a close-up, look at some of the closer details, and you'll definitely see what I'm talking about, if you don't already, about how worn it's become over the years. But once again, a lot of that's to be expected. So, here we go. As you guys can see, like I mentioned before, a lot more tarnishes on this championship belt. Most noticeably, it's in those points where the belt bends. And I'm not surprised by that at all. It's going to be the spot that moves the most easily. So we see it a lot on the outside of the side plate. We see it a lot between the side plate and the main plate, and repeated again on this side. But just like with the Undisputed Championship, where it doesn't bend, it's actually held up quite well. Now, I'm not going to say it's held up perfectly. I can see cracks in the material. I'm not too surprised by that. But I still go back to the fact that this belt is at least 10 years old, probably 15, and could be upwards of 20 years old. So one thing you'll see is when this bends, it actually shows the material cracking a lot more. So is this a pristine belt? No. But did I expect it to be? Also no. Now, last thing that I'm going to point out on this one is the fact that it is the big gold championship. You don't see a lot of the coloration, you don't see a lot of the paint that you see on the other championships because it's really just the gold-plated parts and the gems. The borders of the belt have actually held up surprisingly well, at least as far as the plates are concerned. Borders of the strap, kind of business as usual with the other parts of the belt. So with that being said, we'll take you guys to the end of this video and finish this up. As you guys can see from the close-up, this one is definitely a lot more worn, even more so than that WWE Undisputed Championship that I did on my last video. That being said, with the age of the belt, I'm going to repeat a lot of the same things I said, which is that I'm still pretty happy with it, and as far as I know, my best friend is still happy with it too. Especially when you think about the lineage that goes back into the big gold belt. This one's a little bit of a shorter video because there's not that much to talk about that I didn't already talk about in my last video. I'm pretty happy with it. Did it hold up perfectly? No. But once again, there's at least probably at least 5, maybe even 10 years of history that I don't know how this was displayed or abused or anything like that. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, commenting. I always appreciate your comments. Let me know if you like me doing videos like this or if it's something that you just really don't care for because they're old beat-up belts. And definitely be on the lookout for some more content. My next round of videos, I'm hoping, will be my road reviews, which will be where I actually do videos about championships for local wrestling companies here in Michigan. So as always, please like, please share, please subscribe, smash all those buttons. Definitely do that because it helps me out a lot, especially with YouTube being YouTube. And thank you again, guys. See you later.